Hey y'all, welcome back to Twin Oaks Family Farm. Hey, it's November 23rd, 2024. I don't think we got a show and tell and share Saturday done this week. And we're only going to do show and tell and share Saturday through the end of 2024. So try to stay consistent here with it. But for show and tell and share today, we're just going to go into the meat bird barn. Why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we go see the meat birds, especially right now when we actually have a flock of egg pullets that are exactly the same age? So that's pretty cool to get to see. Very seldom do we get to see egg birds and meat birds exactly the same age growing up together. And we all know that meat birds grow fast, put on meat, distribute it, get big quickly. They can be done start, grow, finish in 6 weeks. Maybe even 5, but definitely 6 weeks. And they just grow so fast. And we know that, but when we see them right beside egg birds, it's just unbelievable how much faster they do grow. So, hey Jared.
Hi.
We got Jared talked into going in the barn with us. Hey Jared, I wanted to ask you this before we go in the barn. What is sitting on the back of this truck? And you don't know this, but this truck I think now has a new name, so I'll share what that is. But what is this? Why is it here? Well, I mean, I'm not really asking what is this, but I do want you to tell us what it is. But like, why is it not where it's supposed to be, and what's going on?
Well, this is the intercooler.
Yeah.
And this is the radiator.
Yeah.
The reason why it's not on there, because when we went to take the pump gear off, the tool I got, I ended up breaking a bolt. And I got the bolt out, put a new bolt in, and tightened it down so much that I was afraid it was going to break another one. So I had to take this off so I could take a pin and hit the end of the shaft of the injector pump.
Yeah.
And popped it loose.
So that's old trucks. I mean, it's always something, right? But so this is Drew's truck that we were talking about, and this is also Drew's truck behind us. So the white truck is currently on the road. The silver truck is not. Refresh my memory, Jared. What do they call this one? A second gen? This one. They call it a second gen.
Yeah, it's a second.
I'm going to get a quick look at the green one. They call that a first gen. They call this a second gen. The one behind me, well, the one behind me, they call a third gen.
Yeah.
And then you get newer than that. I guess they just go on with it. They call it a fourth gen, right? Fourth gen. Going behind you, Jared. Yeah. Do they go on up like fourth gen, fifth gen?
Yeah.
What are we up to?
I don't know.
On Dodges. I don't know. It's beer 30. It's beer 30. That's all we know, right?
I don't know when they change it.
So anyway, but and here, tell me what's going on in the front. There's no bumper. So
No.
Okay. So Drew says we're going to put this truck back on the road. But I say there's going to have to be a bumper, right?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
See, I mean.
So all that came out of here.
So yeah, your radiator and your intercooler's out here. But see, this is this is what I
don't think it's supposed to do that.
So this is what I was talking about. This is screwed into the gear right here.
Oh, let's get in close to that then. Okay.
So what this does when you tighten these bolts down, it's supposed to push the pump is a tapered shaft that goes into the gear that's tapered, and it fits tight.
Yeah.
So when you tighten this down, it's supposed to pop it loose. Well, I broke this bolt, and I was able to reach in, get it out, got it out of there. So got another bolt, put it in there, tightened it down, and I had it really tight.
Oh, dear.
And I was afraid to go anymore. So, which the bumper was already off of it.
Yeah.
So I ended up just taking the intercooler and radiator out and took a pin and hit the end of that. And as soon as I whacked it one time, it popped loose. So then right here, this big hole.
Yeah.
The injector pump's supposed to be right there.
And that's really why we're under the hood of this truck, right?
Yes, because
the injector pump went out
whenever we were coming home from the 2 batches before.
Yeah, chicken trip. But fortunately, went out when we were coming home and not when we were going to, because we'd have been sitting on the side of the road with about 408 chickens and the day getting hot, because that ended up being a super hot day, I think. And so. And normally we just have one vehicle, but we took 2. So we had a get home vehicle, left this one sit and let the tow truck get it, bring it home. But that's why we started getting into this truck. And then So the pump is off of it. We got to send
I just got to send
it away, have it worked on.
Yeah.
Okay, and so that's...
I got to send it to a place.
Yeah.
And have it worked on, and get it back on.
But
So,
that and the engine are two of the reasons, like, we like a truck like this here, like a second gen Dodge, right? Because the injector pump is a P pump, right?
Yeah, and it's normally the P pumps very rarely go out, but like this truck here has got 400,000 miles on it, so who knows if that's the original pump. So
Yeah,
if it
so who
does
knows?
have that many miles, well then it's understandable why it would.
And
go
then
out.
the other thing we like is right there, right under the cloth. It's a 12 valve.
Yes, it's a 12
It's a 12
valve.
valve. 12 valve Cummins.
It's mechanical.
So you don't get them like that anymore.
So, yeah.
You don't get them like that anymore. So okay. So anyway, so we will go in the barn because I told the people we're going to show and tell and share on the chickens, but I guess we showed and told and shared on the truck. So unique thing about that truck is the hood stack. Also, our middle son had that put in it, and so youngest son. So it's, we say chicken mafia, but we're always trading whatever, eggs, meat, trucks, truck parts, whatever. But so this truck now, so Jared, Drew says he wants to put something on the top of this truck, windshield. So he wants to put bodacious. So I think yeah, all right. So I think I think the truck has a new name. This truck has been called 44B just because it had a sticker in the back of it that said that. So let's get in the barn. Let's go see the birds. Okay, so actually, they've already been pretty much chores done for the evening. We'll come back and visit them throughout the evening some. Gonna show you the meat birds, which you're looking at there, and show you the egg birds. I don't know if I could get Jared to help me out. Would you wrangle an egg bird and put it on the other side of the short wall with the meat birds? If you can, and I'll go over and we'll look at the meat birds. So we did put down new pine shavings for them under the heat lamps. They're choosing to stay under the heat lamps. Jared, do you know what temperature we got up to today?
Last time it was only about 44, 45 degrees.
I think about 45 or 4, before you set her down. I want to get a little look at her. So this is a Rhode Island Red pullet. So a pullet is a female chicken that's not at the point of laying eggs yet. So she'll want to be back over with her friends because chickens actually recognize other animals, other chickens, people's faces. So Jared's going to set her down there. But we just want to give you like a real comparison of what?
I really want to set her down because
you don't want to set her down?
It'd be hard to catch her.
Oh, okay.
So,
all right. Well, so
if you can see, my hand.
Well, it's the lighting is the problem.
It's the size.
Yeah.
And,
like the size of your fitting in your palms.
Yeah, both
together.
Hands together.
Okay. And so these birds would kind of flop over.
Yeah.
your palms.
Yeah. So
anyway.
I got my hands together down here and she.
Yeah. So just a teeny thing.
Yeah.
Just a teeny thing. I don't know. Can you just get a little closer to one of the meat birds?
I can.
Without, But, so I know the lighting's not super, y'all, but
you look at she's standing, and look at the difference.
Let me zoom out for him. Yeah. So you can just see her there in between Jared's hands. So she's exactly the same age as those meat birds. They were all hatched on October 23rd, 2024. So I think that makes us out to, I think we're at about 31 days probably on their ages. But those birds, and you can see some of them over there, Rhode Island Reds, going to be egg layers for us. They are the same age as these meat birds. They're all about 31 days old. And the egg birds will probably have maybe 2.5 to 3 years. And they'll maintain egg production for us during that time. The meat birds, we can start, grow, and finish them in 43 days. They're going to actually go to the processor on, where are we at to? December 4th. December 4th, 2024, this group of birds goes to the processor. So I'm going to try to move. We've got a lot of shadow. But this grouping, now see there's some hanging out over there. this group of birds in total, oh, and there's some.
But then you got some that's how old?
You want me to show them? You want me? Because we done supposed to process them like 2 weeks ago, but you know, you saw the truck situation sitting outside the barn, and we've had other truck projects too.
Yeah.
I haven't shown them yet. I will. But we've had other truck projects too, right, Jared? So the bird butchering got pushed back because we live with old trucks.
Yeah, but
so
these were small.
Roll with it, yeah.
These were small.
Yeah.
When we took the other ones.
Yeah.
So we kept them, and this is how big they are right
yes.
now.
Well, so honestly, looking back, so these birds are a good 10 weeks old now, I'd say.
Yeah.
I'm thinking they were probably hatched. Maybe was that flock maybe mid-September? It could have been very end of August or mid-September. I can't remember. But anyway, I'd say they're every bit of 10 weeks. But when they were 6 weeks old and their flock was going to the processor, I would say they were this size.
Yeah.
And so these birds at 6 weeks old were this size. But these birds are just 4 weeks old. And they're not going to get to this size at 6 weeks, but they're going to get a lot bigger than this. They're probably going to almost double. These birds at 4 weeks old. Now, when we take them to the processor at 6 weeks old, they'll probably be about double the size we're seeing here. But like Jared said, with these birds, they were slow growers. They were small. They really weren't finished size when their flock went to the processor. So we just opted not to take them to the processor then. And now, and Drew and I were just talking about this on our way home from just being out today. Now we're almost at the point we could almost take these to our processor on December 4th with this flock that we're raising. But they're just going to be so huge. Honest to goodness, our processor's whole chicken bags would not contain them. They're going to be that big. They're going to be that big. So I mean, if we took them, we'd have to say to our processors, hey friend, we've got these 3 rogue birds that they were slow growers, now they're rebels, and we need to get them butchered. But anyway, I don't know. We'd have to see if our processor even want to do that. But anyway, this is a flock that's in production for our last flock of 2024. They are all in a rest period right now. That is not abnormal. That is normal. They've actually been up. We've had them move around the pen just about half hour before we were recording this. We took that opportunity to put fresh pine shavings bedding down for these birds, and we made sure feeders were filled up, and they actually came and ate, and we made sure waters were totally topped off. So they're going to rest now, and then we're going to check on them again, you know, like in 3 hours, and have them move around again. But we mentioned the temperature. I asked Jared about the temperature, and we mentioned that. I don't know if I can get both of us in the camera, Jared, or not, but I'll let the camera be there on the different size birds. But we mentioned the temperature because that really impacts really all chickens at a young age, but in particular meat birds throughout production, because at this age and for the next 2 weeks while they finish production for meat, they don't want the temperature lower than 70 degrees Fahrenheit. So here we are in December, right, Jared? Finishing birds.
Yeah.
And you never know. You never know. I told the people the other day, we have had, I don't know if we'll get us both in here or not, but I told the people the other day, we've actually had flocks chill stress in July and heat stress in November. So you just never ever know. You just never ever know. There's so many dynamics with ambient temperature, ambient conditions, your bird's ages, the stage of growth they're at, the way you're building, just the microclimates in it, or even if they're pastured, the microclimates they experience. There's just so many dynamics to that. We just want to try to keep them comfortable. And we know that if we can aim for about 70 degrees Fahrenheit and enough good air movement that, you know, it keeps a fresh air feeling in their building. Do you agree, Jared? That pretty much we aim for, like at this age,
Yeah.
70 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, and we've had flocks where the temperature is just right for them.
Yeah.
And you can really tell a difference on how they grow.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing when you get primo conditions for them. Well, you know, you saw the the older birds that are beyond finished, beyond ideal. But anyway, so that's why we pay attention to temperature. So it did get to about 46 degrees today, which obviously is colder than we want, but with them having the heat lamps over there, it really helped them a lot. Now this is a bird that will not finish successfully. You can't tell it from that angle, but that bird is a scissor beak. It does not have uniformity of growth with the flock. It's a lot smaller than the rest of them. So it's doing okay, but it's not going to go to the processor, not going to finish successfully for meat. The rest of these birds are looking really good. I would imagine as the evening goes on, these birds that are choosing to stay out in the open are probably going to work their way back over here. But I do like, Jared, do you like the way they're using the heat lamps?
Yeah, they're spread out. They're not underneath of a crowd.
Right.
So they're spread out and they seem real comfortable.
Yeah. So if we...
Yeah,
what?
Oh, they seem like they're, it is good for them, where the way they're spread out.
Yeah. So if we do get temperatures go up a little bit this week, which they're supposed to, into maybe the 60s, we definitely can either raise the heat lamps up higher or maybe even turn them off in the daytime and let the doors open and the sunlight in. But here's what's really great. They're leaving that circle underneath the bulb. That's exactly how we want to see meat birds use supplemental warmth. We don't want to see them piling right underneath it. We want to see them leaving that heat spot from the bulb coming down, and we want to see them form up circles around it. So basically, they're doing that with all the heat lamps. So we know we're okay here, and the birds obviously have lots of room to move away from the heat if they decide that that's too warm for them. But if the temperatures are around 40 for the evening, they're probably going to want to be there overnight, and we'll encourage them to get up and move several times. So we just are always paying attention to temperature. I think that's an important thing with birds. Jared, do you think with meat production birds?
Oh yeah, the temperature affects them a lot.
Way more than our egg production birds.
Yeah.
Way more.
Yeah.
So at any rate,
definitely.
but about 31 days old, or if I'm wrong on the math, you can figure it up on the calendar. These birds age October 23rd to today, November 23rd. So it is about 4 weeks, right at a month old, we'd probably say. And then even those birds, they're appreciating the targeted warmth, and those are month-old pullets that are fairly well feathered in. So they're still appreciating having all that warmth. But so any final thoughts, Jared, on the meat birds? We're gonna.
They're growing good. They're looking good.
Yeah.
Which we've had decent temperatures. We're going to get some colder, but it's a good thing that they're older, because I don't think the colder will affect them near as much as if they were young.
Definitely not.
So,
We'll probably get that their last week of production. Yeah. And when Jared's saying colder, what we're looking at there is probably overnights 20s.
Yeah.
The very
40s in the days.
Which will be okay.
And 20s at night.
And that's when it'll be cool for them. But we've got, the footprint with the lights, and if we had to, I've told the people, we have electrical infrastructure. We could actually double the amount of heat lamps in here.
Yes.
If we had to.
If we had to.
And we already have some chains strung, we can drop and suspend more lamps, which we have. So
we've had this building full of lamps.
We're poor in presidential flashcards, but by golly, we have chicken raisin supplies around here. So, okay, y'all. So thanks for supporting Twin Oaks Family Farm by supporting Twin Oaks Farm Poultry on YouTube. Join us again. There's meat birds and egg birds at the exact same age, about a month old. Pretty cool.